Welcome to the real Monster D. That would be me. Are you a fan of Godzilla vs. Biollante? Have you ever found yourself slightly saddened by the fact that to this day, this amazing colossal creature has only ever appeared in one live-action film? Well, I do not know what I can do to make your wishes true for a true Biollante return, but I do believe there is something that could potentially satisfy those cravings for a little bit. Yes, I am talking to you about another tentacled giant plant monster. One that even takes place in the very same Heisei period. To find this monster, you must turn to none other than the Little Shop of Horrors. Oh wait, come back, hold on, hear me out. Perhaps you grew up with this movie, a fond, fun, musical adaptation of the off-Broadway live production, which itself was a retelling of the old Roger Corman film. But have you gone so far as to watch the, I believe it was a 2012 special edition, which I have right here. This was Little Shop of Horrors' first time on Blu-ray. And this came with the version of the film that you likely are familiar with, and also came with an alternate version. Yes, this version, right up until almost the end, is near identical, except it has an alternate ending. And oh, what an ending it is. For those of you who are familiar with the actual Broadway performance, the nexus of the ending may not be such a surprise. Let's just say that it ends on a much more dour note than the happy sort of Donna Reed-esque ending that this one climaxes with. But this version, with a great big budget and with the directing prowess of one Frank Oz behind it, takes that dour ending to a much bigger level. It's a little hard to tiptoe around too many spoilers here. I mean, the movie has been out for a very long time, even if the ending has not. But suffice to say, in the alternate ending, let us just say that the plant, Audrey too, has her way. Yes, she triumphs over the heroes, unfortunate to them. And I must say, the first time I actually saw this, not only was I in awe, but I actually could understand why they cut this ending out. Because all of the characters, particularly Seymour and Audrey, are so lovely, have such great chemistry, and are just fun to watch. To see where this turns, it is a dour one, to be sure. But your dour feeling may well be short-lived, or may be either replaced or mixed with a great sense of awe. For then, the Audrey and all of her kin are unleashed across the city. Oh yes, great, big spectacle. I am talking about giant, carnivorous plants that tear through cities, destroy cars, and do quite a bit of snacking. One of the big, pinnacle, climactic scenes in the film is when these creatures actually scale Lady Liberty herself. Such an iconic shot. Had this remained and made it to the theatrical cut, I could see this making its way onto the DVD and VHS and Blu-ray covers ever since. Unfortunately, it was not to be. For decades, this was kind of a lost treasure. But, thankfully, to restoration, thankfully, to so many films and bits and things being preserved, this wonderful original rendition of the film has been lovingly restored. And yes, the way Audrey moves here with these live action effects does very much bring to mind the kind of effects that were going on in the Heisei Godzilla movies. It fits in perfectly. You could see the people at Toho creating some of these scenes themselves, especially when you consider all that they did with Biollante herself. So, I recommend you, if you have not yet, going back and giving the Little Shop of Horrors director's cut a big old chomp. And if that doesn't satisfy you, then by all means, track down some of the latest releases of Godzilla vs. Biollante. Here's this DVD version by Miramax, and I believe there is a Blu-ray release, and track down some of the special features, which actually show more of the plant in action herself, including a deleted scene that really more of a test, to be honest, that actually features some stop-motion Biollante action. Ooh, is that not enough to stop your chlorophyll-covered heart? Hey kids, looking for giant, monstrous fun? Sign up for Kaiju Kids drawing classes. Each class is 4 sessions long, targets both basics in art and science, and fits around your schedule. Kaiju Kids is both education and entertainment for ages 6 through 12. Sign your Kaiju Kid up today. Also, join my Monster Fans Club for exclusive deals, activities, and sneak previews. Are you in the mood to listen to something a little bit different? Then might I recommend an album and a band that are not so often talked about. The album is Awaken the Forests, and the band, Aluna. This album has captured my heart for some time. It actually took me a while to come across it myself. It has been around since 2014, but it is a treasure worth listening to. This takes the old, trudging doom style of metal that Black Sabbath, of course, first created, and brings it into the world of wild, witchy woodlands. It is an interesting mix of forest peace with a severe hint of foreboding behind it. Listening to this album, with songs such as Bricketwood Coven, Heavy Bow, and Awakening the Forest, puts one in mind of staring up at a great, old, ancient tree, one that you know has been there far before you and has seen so many wicked things. The band is led by vocalist Sophie Day and guitar player David Day, with Daniel Buckmore on bass and Jack Mason on drums. And quite a pedigree this band has, for they hail from Birmingham, England, what is lovingly referred to as the Black Country. This is the actual birthplace of heavy metal itself, where bands such as Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and Judas Priest all hail from. So yes, they come from the very source, and you can feel it and you can see it, all this whole product. It very much resembles one of those older metal albums. In fact, there are only 6 tracks on this song, but many of these tracks topping 7, 8, 9 minutes. It is still a lengthy album despite being 6, and yet it kind of lazily slips out before you realize it is over. It feels both long and short, as though the songs, the guitar tone, have a way of bending time. Yes. And the album art is quite lovely, especially on this sort of cardstock version of, I guess, Digipack album release. It really fits with a nice sort of papery feel, that sort of wood created or papyrus created color, and some text that belie its sort of ancient nature. So, again, if you're in the mood for something new, something deep, something slow and trudging, then please go ahead and give Awakening the Bow a great listen. And by the way, Aluna also have 5 other albums to their name, which I myself need to dig into. So yes, let us dig into this awakened forest. Looking for a monstrous keepsake for your loved one? How about a monster on demand?
I was just so amazed just how many elements, personal elements, he got into this one photograph.
I turn your loved ones, pets, even yourself into highly detailed, personalized monster images.
The teeth! The teeth surprised me!
Order yours today at therealmonsterd.com.
My kids came over and they could immediately tell who was who.
And now enjoy the summer sale! All monster classes and monsters on demand are half price for a limited time only. Welcome to the drawing challenge! Oh my, it is a jungle in here, is it not? Well, fear not, for I do not think these plants are going to attack us today. Actually, the reason for this is that this drawing challenge is actually a request by one Nicole Anderson Bergner, a professional health coach. She wanted me to create a quick drawing monster based around something called scapes. Even more specifically, garlic scapes. What are scapes? Well, those are scapes. So, before they escape, let me begin this drawing. So, here's my timer. And let us begin. All right, so how many of you have ever heard of garlic scapes before? Have you grown them in your gardens? Have you eaten them yourself? What are your thoughts on them? Ooh, they happen to be a favorite of mine, let me tell you. So I guess they are sort of like the green stalk of garlic, which I think a lot of people, when they grow garlic, they tend to discard this part or ignore it otherwise. But there's quite a bit of merit in eating these things. I mean, first of all, it's a green, just another green vegetable with more different kinds of nutrients than just eating the garlic bulb itself. Let's see here. Let me actually move this. Hope you don't mind. I turn this into a little bit of a scary still life here. Let's see. Moving it a little bit. There we go. But, yeah, I like it because these scapes, they're very good in things like stir fries and sort of quick, high heat sort of dishes. They have a milder garlic taste to them than just like the bulb itself. But the taste, the flavor and the scent is definitely there. It is noticeable. But they have a higher sort of smoke point than garlic. It takes a little longer to burn them, so they can take a higher heat and more abuse than garlic. So you do not have to worry too much about that horrendous burnt garlic smell. Not right away, at least. So lovely, lovely indeed. And in order to monsterize these ones, I think I am going to do that trick that you see whenever you've seen old war films and they show like torpedoes or missiles. Sometimes soldiers do that thing where they will paint sort of like shark faces on them. Well, I think I'm going to borrow that idea for the scapes here. Like so. like that. And like that. And like that. And I already started over here. And like that. How was that? So they come with their own natural sort of noses there. And let me add a touch of green, since they are a green vegetable. Can you imagine dealing with a scape monster that not only is it just a scary monster that wants to attack things, but it also has that garlic smell to it wafting through the air. And if it's a giant garlic scape monster, that might be all you smell is an extremely strong level of garlic all throughout the air. Does that make you nauseous? Or does that make you hungry? There we go. All right. Oh, you know what? I'm leaving out the stem, the rest of the stem, for the one in the back. Let me correct that. So we kind of have this turning into like a green sort of Hydra, 3, perhaps more headed monster there. There we go. Ooh, let me add some green in the back there. And right here. Let me make sure these scapes do not escape from my easel. Uh-oh! Oh! And what do you know? The bell rang and they escaped. How dramatic is that? Well, still, this is my 3-headed garlic scape monster. What do you think? Is that monstrous enough? Does it make you hunger? Well, if you enjoyed this nearly escaped scape monster, as well as the video entire, won't you please click that like button and toll that bell so you can be ready, willing, and salivating for the very next episode of The Real Monster D. Stay monstrous. Hound.